Welcome to the Remodelers Show. It's Tuesday, August 25th, 2020. There's a thing on my screen that says text JOIN, J-O-I-N. If you text JOIN to 516-219-9736, you can get on my little text community group. I send some good stuff there. Love to have you on that. Today's show is going to be focused on something that was posted yesterday by myself plus 48 of my friends on the Remodelers community. There are currently 860 remodelers that are part of Remodelers community. If you're listening to this, you're not part of it, if you go to Remodelers with an S, remodelerscommunity.com, you can request to join. And this post that I made yesterday, the Facebook is actually showing me the reach now. 621 of the 860 saw this post, and we just got a lot of engagement on it. I'm a man of faith, and one of the books that I love is the book of Proverbs. You can read Proverbs, and it's like just little nuggets of knowledge. Boom, 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 one after another. And today's show is going to be a little bit of that feel of Proverbs, of this wisdom that is just one after another after another. Because what I'm going to read is just some of the comments. I'll add my 2 cents to this post that I made yesterday. And the post that I made was simple. It said, give me a piece of advice for running a successful remodeling business. Give me a piece of advice for running a successful remodeling business. That was the question. It was very short. It was very sweet. And I posted it a little before 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time yesterday. And it started cooking right away. Boom, boom, boom. Wisdom, 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 wisdom. Reminder, 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 reminder. And it's just full of good stuff. So I thought I am going to just cover that for the Tuesday's version of the Remodeler Show. All right. So there's our intro. Let's get to it. Also, I did want to add this. I wrote that note down. There is just tremendous power in the mastermind of minds, and having a lot of minds contribute towards a question or towards a list of advice like we have here. So that's another thing. This idea. Thank you everybody for participating in the Remodelers community. If you're part of that, if you see a post that you kind of like, it's very helpful if you click like. Even this little stream. If several of you who are watching live clicked like or commented, Facebook's like, oh, people like this, and they'll show it to more people. So if you like what you're hearing, what you're reading, please be active and just tossing that out there, because that's helpful. I tell you what, if this dog does what she did yesterday and starts barking like crazy and interrupting the Remodeler Show, I'm a pretty cool, collected guy, but I might lose my crap. Lucy, don't do it, dude. Okay. All right. So give me a piece of advice for running a successful remodeling business. David Kish said, do not try and reinvent the wheel. Do not try and reinvent the wheel. There are people who have gone through this. There are books written by remodelers. There are podcasts. There is a resource of people that you have. Even just look no further than the remodelers community. Ask your questions. Seek out guidance. Seek out wisdom. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. A remodeling business is already stinking hard enough. It is a very difficult business. If you're wondering why it's so hard, it's because it's really hard. You are juggling so many things, and you're in people's homes, and you've got materials and suppliers and schedules, and still have to market and sell. You're managing employees and everything that comes with that, delays, permitting, all of these different things, inspections. It is a hard business. By the way, you still have to understand your financials. It's a tricky, hard business. So David's wisdom there of try not to reinvent the wheel. Those are a few thoughts on how you can go about that. I feel like we need a little chime in between each of the little nuggets of wisdom. So let me just pull that up while we're going. Okay, next one, Mark Stratton. Hi, Mark. I don't see your name pop up very often on here. Save money and be ready for the hard times. Save money and be ready for the hard times. When we were going through the early stages of COVID, one of the things that I made a note a couple of weeks in, I'm going, okay, when we come out the other end of this and when things start, quote unquote, getting a little bit more back to normal, what are some of the lessons that we're going to learn from this? The shutdown and the immediate quietness of leads kind of struck us very quickly. And one of the things that I had written down is what Mark's getting at there of we have got to, if we're going to run a successful remodeling business, we have got to save money and be ready for the hard times. For a lot of you, we've been going through and we still currently are in some good times. We have got to be disciplined to make sure that we're saving money because we know there's going to be bad times in the future, slower times in the future. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. So making sure that we're saving money is just a really good nugget of knowledge from our friend Mark there. Okay. Sean said, know your numbers. The next person said what he said, know your numbers. Next person said, know your margins. Okay. I'm going to circle back to that because there's some other people that add some additional specificity. Ooh, there's a $10 word, specificity to that thought. But you've heard me say it. You've heard all the different coaches, consultants in the remodeling industry talk about it. If you want to run, the question here is, give me a piece of advice for running a successful remodeling business. I'll tell you how to not run a successful remodeling business. Have no idea how to understand your numbers. Have no idea how to understand your P&L. Don't spend the time to understand your job costing. Don't dig in and understand what cost of goods sold is and the difference between markup and margin and to challenge what your markup is and what you're charging. If you want to not be successful, continue not doing that. And the inverse is what leads to being successful. It's such a critical component. Oh, Lucy. Lucy, come here. Lucy, come here. Stop doing that, pretty please. Your father would like you to stop doing that, okay? Okay, good talk. All right. Oh, we got a couple comments going on here. But we love, yes, we love her. That's fine. That's fine. What I need to start doing is putting her in her crate during this. And I'm going to continue to work from home while we're juggling everything. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. Garen from LinkedIn said, I tell my team, we is always greater than me. Love that, right? That's that thought of together we're going to achieve more, whether that is as an industry, as remodelers, and that's definitely what we're trying to achieve through the remodelers community, and also, yes, as a team. All right, cool. Next nugget. All right, yours truly contributed to the comments. I said, surround yourself with a talented team. Don't settle for mediocre help. Always be pushing to improve the quality of your team. I work with a lot of remodelers. I've been doing this for 12 plus years now. And similar to the importance of understanding your financials and what you charge and if you're making money, there is another direct correlation between the quality of your team and the ability for you to be excellent at what you do and run a successful remodeling business. If you're limping by with a C-level team, a B- player, a C-level drywaller, it is going to be harder for you to run a successful remodeling business. So we've got to continue to work at elevating the quality of our team, the skill level of our team. Sometimes that means letting go of somebody, not using a trade partner as much, and continuing to seek and find and look for those team members. One of my clients over the last 2 years has transformed his team in the field because he early in this next phase that he was going through is he paid extra because he knew he had an A player. And what he has found is that as he's added an A players attract other A players. Word gets around. How do you find your best employees? They're talking to their buddies, their colleagues, their other people that they know in the industry. This is a great place to work. Man, these guys are organized. They've got a path for employees. And when you start to have some A players on your team, A players attract other A players. And it's such a critical part of running a successful remodeling business. Another one I commented next is put a lot of focus on creating an excellent experience from start to finish for your clients. The better your client's experience, the more they will come back for additional work, and also the more they refer you. Again, the question at the top here is, give me a piece of advice for running a successful remodeling business. More focused effort towards giving your client a remarkable, excellent, wonderful experience strengthens your business. It's hard work, but it's also not some magical thing. It's a combination of a lot of little things. Running a successful remodeling business is a combination of doing a lot of little things right. So stay after that. Talk to your team about what those things are. Continue to push, how do I make this an even better experience for my clients? Focus time and energy towards that, asking your team how we can do it, praising them when they go the extra mile. That's starting to set that expectation and continuing to move in that good direction. Unidentified viewer is Joanne. I don't ever get this right. Try to go to streamyard.com/Facebook. See if you can get it, if you can wrangle it to start working. Okay, cool. All right, let's keep going through this. Chelsea Sandifer. Hi, Chelsea. I remember working with Nick and Chelsea a few years ago on their sales process. They continue to improve their remodeling business down there in Florida. Chelsea commented on the one that I was talking about of creating an excellent experience. She said, also something that has been huge for me, especially doing new client calls, is being super transparent and relatable. In turn, our clients are also invested in us and love watching us, whether that's on social media, in our yearly family Christmas cards, etc. That idea of running a successful remodeling business is about being transparent and relatable, being yourself, not putting up this facade. By the way, that's also a more enjoyable way to run your business. Okay, good. Love that. Ken Combs, or on Facebook, he's known as Kenneth Combs, but I'm pretty sure he goes by Ken. Ken Combs goes, put systems in place to allow you to predict problems before they happen, so you're not constantly firefighting. This whole phrase of proper preparation prevents poor performance. This idea of put systems in place to allow you to predict problems. If I were to add something to that, an example of that would be put a system in place of a really strong pre-construction conference. Have a really strong handoff between sales and production. Have that system in place. Because if you do that part well, it's going to help you predict problems before they happen. If you don't do that well, it'll be what Ken said. We're going to be just doing firefighting constantly. So that's one example of a system, of a meeting, of a process, of a checklist to make sure that we are able to predict some problems before they happen. Again, these are like the proverbs of running a successful remodeling business. Bailey said, such good advice. So she's going back to what Chelsea said of being super transparent and relatable. Facades are exhausting, and clients and employees always see through them eventually. Be yourself and be willing to own and work through your weaknesses. I like that. I like that a lot, in the words of Forrest Gump. Like, a bunch of you are watching this right now. I can see it. And I only have 2 likes. What's up with that? Like it so that more people see it. Plus, it just isn't very encouraging to me. Just like your team, when you give them some positive encouragement, a little pat on the back, a little quick text, it's so encouraging. Similar for me. All right, we got to decide what to do with Lucy. I'm just going to let her outside. Hang on. Children, take this dog and don't let her come back in. Thank you. I wonder if you guys could hear that. Did you hear me somewhat seriously say, kids, take this dog and don't let her come back in? And I threw the leash and I set the dog outside. I think we've solved the problem. Okay. And all 4 of them are just like, literally like standing there waiting for 12:30 to roll around when they can come back in. Go play, children. Anyways. Okay. Wade Ferris shared some wisdom here. Kindness. Again, what are we doing? Give me a piece of advice for running a successful remodeling business. Tara Hamilton Ross, thank you for throwing that like out there. You heard me say that and you did it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh, and Bailey said we could definitely hear you. Oh, well. Again, my wife this week is needing to do some teaching. Do the Hunt children want to come on the Remodelers show? Is a question that somebody's asking. You know, maybe tomorrow. Maybe Thomas and I will. Maybe I'll invite Thomas on here and we can have a hunt. That might be fun. We'll see. He did talk about it the other day. He's like, you know what would be fun, Dad? I'd love to be interviewed like on a podcast. But he's like, he didn't want Mom or me to do it. But like somebody just interview about himself. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe I'll convince him that I could do the interview. We'll see. Wade said this: kindness, empathy, and self-awareness go a long way. Being authentic is more valuable than putting on a good show. So there's Wade kind of adding on to what Chelsea said, that kindness, empathy, and self-awareness. How do you run a successful remodeling business? What Wade said was kindness, empathy, and self-awareness go a long way. I think that's good wisdom. Justin Kolick, how do you pronounce your last name, Justin? Justin said, read books and listen to podcasts. And then he goes, implement what you learn. There are a lot of smart people who have already started and run successful remodeling companies and other types of businesses. Learn from their mistakes and wisdom, always be learning. And he went on to add a few books that have been impactful and helpful for him. You know, this idea of if you want to run a successful remodeling business, you've got to continually learn. You guys are pouring out your energy and effort towards your clients, towards your team, towards your trade partners. It takes a lot of energy and effort to run the businesses you're running. And if you're not filling back up, if you're not learning, if you're not consuming good content, keeping the fire going and stoked, you know, you're going to run out of gas. It happened to me 3 years ago where I'm like, oh crap, the guy that's supposed to motivate everybody is unmotivated. I was going through the motions for a little bit of a season. And I traced that back and realized I'm not learning anything. I'm not filling myself with any kind of information, any kind of inspiration, and I'm just pouring out all day. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, and some good words of wisdom from Justin. I contributed this: work hard toward low, or better yet, no debt. I mean, we could argue about, you know, there might be smart debt out there. Well, Kyle, you don't know. I'm leveraging some of this, you know, some financing, and it just at 0%. So I'm just doing this. We can see all kinds of sides to that. Sometimes, you know, if there's a certain situation, maybe it does make sense. But that banner over the top that says, as a successful remodeling business, you need to be striving hard after low or no debt, is wisdom. That's wisdom from seeing inside a lot of businesses over the years and seeing how success follows low to no debt. Going back to what we said earlier, success follows building up a bit of a war chest of retained earnings so that you can weather the ups and downs. You know, I don't know what else I need to say about that. We need to work towards that. Successful businesses are debt-free. There's a flat-out statement. Well, Kyle, what about this business? Okay, yes. Successful businesses are debt-free. Sometimes I don't like being so like clear and concise, but sometimes I think there's power in that and wisdom in that. Okay, next one up. Get clear with this is how we work. It helps on the sales side and production side. I'm doing a course on this. If you go to remodelers.masterclass.com, you can see the courses I'm doing in the fall. I'd love for you to join me, sign up for them. They're going to be good. They're going to be helpful. The November one of This Is How We Work. When I think of successful remodeling businesses, they need to have a very clear, this is how we work. This is how we work. It helps tremendously in getting organized, moving a prospect to a paying client. And it's something that I contributed towards this thread. Okay, that was a shock jock moment, Bailey says.
Shock jock. Drop the truth.
Drop the truth. That thing. Okay, good. All right. Next up is Tom Lizzo. Tom Lizio, L-I-Z-Z-I-O. Hi, Tom. Be extra careful of that job you take because you are worried about volume and production, especially when the customer gives you bad vibes or the margins don't seem to be right. That's the job that can get you. Remember, some of the best jobs were perhaps the ones you didn't get. 10 people liked his comment there. That resonated with folks because we've all been there. Isn't it the truth that you take that job that's not a good fit, that all of the warning signs are there, that they're going to be a bad client, that isn't set up for, you know, the type of work and the team that you have, where you cut back your pricing because you were getting the vibe that they weren't going to go with you otherwise, and it just comes back and bites us. Instead of having some trust and some faith that, you know what, the right jobs are going to come up. We've all been there. We've got to be careful not to take those jobs, which sometimes means we need to work our face off to market, to sell, so we have more leads coming in so that we can be more selective. But that's a very solid nugget of wisdom from Tom there. Okay. Next one up. I know there's a lot of them here, people. There's a lot of answers on today's Remodelers show of give me a piece of advice for running a successful remodeling business. But I think these are really good for you guys to hear, for me to think about. We'll repurpose this as a podcast so that people might catch it over there. Some of you are watching live. What's the one for you watching live or watching the replay of this? Please comment. What's the one that we've covered so far that has kind of struck you between the eyeballs? Yeah, between the eyeballs. Okay, let me know. Put it in the comments. Next one. Julie said, this may be an oxymoron for construction, but keep it simple and know your niche. And I think about the same time she posted that, I wrote as a comment, don't be all things to all. Kind of piggybacking a little bit off of what Tom's wisdom was. Keep it simple, Julie said. When you are doing a deck and an addition and a kitchen and windows and a roof and a bathroom, and that's your backlog of work coming up, that is not keeping it simple. All of those different projects require different skills, different tooling, different trade partners, different systems and processes, right? When we're being all things to all people. If we can narrow that down to the type of clients we're taking on, but also the type of projects that we specialize in, and maybe we specialize in a handful of projects instead of 10 different types of projects, there's risk in there. There's pros and cons of that. But what Julie's getting at is keeping it simple and knowing a little bit about her business. That's the decision and the strategy that they've made. They're keeping it simple by only going after a certain type of project and a type of client. That allows your systems, your processes, your team that you build around it to be focused and specialized around that. If you had 10 projects going on and all of them were kitchens versus scattered about into different things, it is going to be easier for you to be efficient, productive, and profitable on those jobs. So it's something to consider, turning down non-ideal work, trying to put a strategy together to maybe focus it more, not 100%, but more on the type of work that is in your wheelhouse. Brian Rudd said, write a business plan. You want a piece of advice for running a successful remodeling business? He says, write a business plan. If it is not in writing, you will not achieve your desired expectations. You will have no goals in writing, therefore no plan to follow. You find yourself quickly changing things because you don't have a plan to go by. He added some more, but when I printed this out, it cut off his comment. I starred the ones, I went through here, you see it on the screen. I starred the ones that I wanted to share. And then I realized, I'm like starring all of them. Crap. But his got cut off, but there's some good wisdom from Brian there. Keep it simple too, business plan, right? But it ties in a little bit with what I just was mentioning of strategy, of making sure we have a solid strategy. What are my comments on the one that you have liked the most so far? I'd like to see those comments. Next one up is from Michael Anchel. Michael says, culture beats systems every time. You want to run a successful remodeling business? Culture beats systems every time. Great systems plus, now Michael, I don't swear, but I'm just quoting you, shitty culture equals fail. Great culture plus shitty systems equals survival but not thriving. Great systems plus great culture equals success. Some good wisdom there. He also said, hire people to do the parts of the business you don't enjoy and or aren't very good at. This idea that you can't do everything in the business. You can't grow a business and control every facet of it. We have to continue to work towards handing off responsibilities in your business. And Michael kind of highlights the parts that you don't enjoy. The parts that you don't enjoy and that you're not that good at is somebody else's they love doing and they're excellent at. So keep that in mind and keep working on building that team around you. There's a lot of different ways to go about that. Kenneth kind of piggybacked on that and just said culture trumps everything. Are you running a remodeling business that is enjoyable for your team to work at? Do they enjoy it? Do you have this culture that is emphasized on we take care of the clients, we care about the client, we want to do an excellent job? Or is it all about speed and profit? Right? This culture of your business. What is the culture of your business is another good question to ask. Oh, we're moving fast now. Scott Wise, leads don't always equal customers. It's essential to know who your ideal client is and screen new leads to ensure they're a good fit for your business. Making sure we have a solid sales process that allows us to weed out non-ideal leads, that allows us, maybe by charging for design and project development, to make sure that we're not investing your precious and limited time on non-ideal work or projects that aren't going anywhere. If you've been wanting to figure out how to charge for design and project development, won't you join me for my October course? You go to remodelersmasterclass.com, you'll see the details for that. That's what we're covering in October. Here's a takeaway from today. Save your money for a downturn. Ask me how I know. I kind of understand where that's going. I don't even need to ask you how I know. I think I know what you mean by that. All right, okay, good. Oh, we're cruising here. We're on the final home stretch here. Sean Osborne says, you determine your price, not the homeowner. You want to run a successful remodeling business? You determine your price, not the homeowner. Pricing your work is so much more about your confidence, understanding your value, knowing what you need to charge, and presenting it with confidence and clarity than it is your clients can't afford it. That makes sense? So much of what you charge has to do with your own mental head trash and your own mental attitude about it, much more than the factor of they can't afford it. Some of your clients can't afford it. They're not your ideal clients. There's a lot of ideal clients out there that you need to find, that you need to market well to, so you can find more of them. But price and what you need to charge is so much more between your own ears than it is some outside force. That's some more shock jock. Sean said, do not fall victim to, oh, it's just me, we'll figure it out. That works until it doesn't. Treat every client with respect. List out everything you do extra, even if it's a no charge item. There's several things there. Process and systems. Treat every client with respect. When you do change orders, when you do extras, write everything down, even if you're not charging for it. Put zero cost next to it. Make sure they see it and feel it and can understand it. Tate says, saying no to projects is more important than yes. We've heard that a few, right? There's several people that have said that in so many words. Tate said, know your numbers is not enough. You must understand them so that you can explain them and improve them. I don't need to add anything to that. That's pretty self-explanatory. And good. Not jumping at projects when you get red flags just to fill the schedule. That's a good one. It's a hard one. I'm on that. That's a hard one, but it is a good one to remember. Rob Bauer said, don't try to learn the lessons that take a lifetime to learn by yourself, ... Hire someone like Kyle Hunt, he said, and others to give you the solutions you need to know. You know, there's something to be said for investing in coaching, investing in joining a mastermind group, investing in the courses I'm having this fall, or you're getting emails from all sorts of places, Sean Van Dyke and Spencer Powell and Victoria and Remodelers Advantage, and right, there's all kinds of educational opportunities out there and courses you can take and coaching you can invest in. You know, a remodelers community group, right, that gets us some wisdom, that gets us some depth, but paying and hiring somebody to help you walk through things, like Rob said, can save you years and years of trying to figure it out on your own. So, you know, when you think of coaching, look at that as an investment, not a cost, right? Good. All right. Ooh, we're on the final home stretch, which is good because we got like 1.5 minutes left. Darius Baker said, learn every one of your numbers. Be able to recite the percentages on your P&L on a moment's notice. Without this knowledge, you may succeed to some level, but not to the level that you had in mind when you started. You will be amazed at how much power this will afford you come any decision-making time. Love it. Denise Allen Kuhn, which I think is the wife of Dale Kuhn. Dale, I haven't talked to you in 7 or 8 years. We used to do some coaching together when I had that little office in Howell underneath these stairs. So like when people would walk down the stairs, like it would vibrate and stuff. And I used to do some coaching with Dale. But they said, and maybe that's Dale typing that, follow through, return phone calls, show up on time. You want to run a successful remodeling business, follow through, return phone calls, show up on time. There's another like 6 or 7 good ones here, but we're out of time. Evidently, some of my children realize it's 12:30 because 2 of them just walked in. Daddy said through 12:30. So that was the Remodeler Show today. I am enjoying the Remodeler Show. We're getting some guests in here from time to time. We're repurposing some content and some wisdom that you guys are sharing. I'm sharing things that are happening just in real life remodeling businesses on coaching calls. I hope that whether you catch all of them, whether you catch little snippets of it, that they're doing the job that we're trying to do, which is just help you improve your remodeling business. Just feeding you new ideas, fresh ideas, additional insight, angles to help you continue to improve how you manage your team, how you sell your work, how you market your work, how you interact with clients, how you understand your financials. Hopefully it is helpful to you. Okay. All right. I think that's it, folks. I really appreciate your time, your attention. I do not take your attention for granted. Lucy's out there barking now, so I'm going to go manage that. Get the household. There's Piper. You see Piper walking in? She's like, Dad, it's 12:30. Oh, and I think she's got Calvin with her. Calvin is currently still wearing his pajamas and no shirts. Oh, look at Piper. Isn't that funny? In the back, she's like, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Why aren't you done yet? Love y'all. Catch you later. Take care.